of the 5th edition. Join our various gaming groups as we play the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons. And maybe just hang out and chat about gaming in general. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, assigned to Ragnarok Story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and RPGpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
So I went looking through your thing, and I have so many favorites. They're all adorable.
Oh, for the Aberrants?
Yeah.
Which one is your
I call it Aberrant. Is it
Aberrant?
Aberrant?
It's Aberrant.
I call
I
it
was like, is
Aberrant.
that...
I call them
So did I,
Aberrant.
but I wanted to make sure.
I've heard the British call them Aberrant.
Yeah.
I've heard the Americans call them Aberrants, so...
Whichever. Yeah. Okay, I was
So-
just trying to make sure I was saying it right.
So, since you're bringing it up and we're getting ready, it's perfect time to say. So for the 30-day D&D Dungeons & Dragons Challenge, today is day 16, and it's your favorite Aberrant. See how I said that?
Good job.
So anybody have a pick?
Oh, instantly, the minute I looked at Mind Flayer.
That's what I was going to say.
I completely agree
What did
with
you say?
you.
The
Mind
Flayer?
Flayer.
Yeah.
Beholder!
I really like
I like both of them.
I thought he was just a monster.
I thought he was just a monster too.
So let me go to your list again, because
Particularly
I don't
multiple
remember.
Mind Flayers played by a mean GM are
Scary.
terrifying as
Scary.
shit.
Especially if you really give that tentacle sounds when they get down close.
See, nobody picked the intellect devourer. I wonder why.
The little brain,
The little brain with the cute puppy dog butt head.
But when you get the
Nasty
Mind Flayer
little-
with the,
Yep.
Oh,
remember that?
See, like when we're talking about looks, this Nathugalog, I don't know how to say his name.
The
He's fucking
Cthulhu.
adorable.
Uh-huh.
Look at him. He's like,
I am fierce and beautiful.
like, who doesn't love that?
No.
Look at him.
He's
He is.
cute and cuddly.
Fierce and beautiful
In
at the
the-
same time. I have it attached to my battery.
But I
Look at him.
I do
He's
love
grinning. He's
beholders.
trying to be a friend.
and like
A little
in the
too spidery.
He
original,
wants to be your friend.
like when you're watching
Big Trouble
Big Trouble in Little China, I'm like, it's a beholder.
J.D. Beholder. Playing up on
So
other people that
I
might.
was just like, oh, wow.
Aw.
But then there's fun names like Carrion Crawler.
Mm.
Oh.
Like, what is a Carrion Crawler? It's
Oh,
adorable.
no, don't
It's
like
called
those.
the Roomba for battlefields.
Aw, I want to see a picture.
No.
It just goes along cleaning up the carrion.
Isn't that the
He's large,
centipede
yellow,
looking
and
like...
green worm-like aberration.
Looks like a tomato
Usually
worm.
live underground, but will sometimes go to the surface for food. Oh.
They're gross.
No.
Oh, I know what my
And
favorite
the
one
coolest
is.
They're
use
like
I've
making
ever
mole
seen one of them
rats.
is to put them in the poop chute.
Oh, because then they can come out when you're like all settled in, thinking you're safe.
You're thinking,
Well,
good
I guess-
day,
well,
and all
I-
of a sudden it's
Like,
like,
dig that hole.
Thanks for that thought.
Dig the hole
shitting in the
first.
backyard for just in case.
Well, no, shitting in the backyard is what gets
Just
us in
Well,
trouble.
that's-
I was about to say, no.
9 out of 10 druids approve of dropping trout where you need.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry guys, I gotta go turn to bear form real quick in bushes.
Can I tell you guys the most distressing thing that happened to me?
Yeah.
So I played in a new role-playing system that I'd never played before. It's a new world. It's D&D, but it's a new world. I played a cleric who had no healing spells. I picked the cleric so I could be the healer because nobody else was picking healers, and I didn't have one healing spell.
I'm sorry, we're not that kind of church.
Yeah.
I was a Church of
Pre-gen
Smiting.
characters.
Yeah, it was a pre-gen character, and our GM, and I was like, they're like, oh, who has healing spells? I'm like, I'm the cleric, and I go to my spell page, there's like,
no healing spells.
how bad would you like to die? I can heal you by taking away all of your pain.
Are you the cleric of Scientology?
I don't even think I was that useful.
Are you clear? No, my hippo pool has a little red still in it.
It was
special attribute,
ridiculous.
number of body feet.
What setting was it?
It's one where you have dragon marks. It's Aberrant.
Oh, Aberrant. Yeah.
That's the right one. And it was really fun to play. There was one character who looked like he was in his armor and he's like really beat up, and it's like he has memories that only go back a year. It's clear he's been in the war, but like he doesn't know. And I was like, oh yeah, he's the bully, right? And so I kept going. I could have played a sentient robot, y'all.
The Warforged.
I did not know. I thought it was a dude in armor, and I was like, I don't want to play a heavy, right? So I keep going.
Warforged is fun. I mean, that's what the
play
change
it.
I would have
finally
loved
gotten
to
to
play
D&D. You can be on a lightning train. Who doesn't want to be the train?
I was on a lightning train with idiots. We tried to seduce the brakes into stopping.
Hold it. What?
Was it the Warforged? Hey,
Waka.
baby.
They weren't
I like when
stopping.
you steal glistens.
It's not my fault they weren't stopping. And so the person next to me, and I'm like, from the beginning, I told them, my goal is to cleanse all evil from my Corvair, from Corvair.
From the world.
That is my goal. First, middle, last.
Okay.
And they were talking about dragon marks, and I was like, yeah, dragon marks are really scary. You have to make sure that it's not an aberrant one.
Mm-hmm. Which are magic marks that are extra powerful.
So the girl took
you're a little more
the
powerful.
spell clearly evil quill and wrote on the bottom of her foot. And she didn't even write Andy. Yeah, she wound up with an aberrant dragon mark, and I was
Which
I turned and looked at her, and she
that's
was sitting
it.
literally right here. That's how come I keep looking. And I looked at her, and I was like, you do not, I have to kill you now. And she's like, what?
I'll feel really bad about it afterwards.
No, it won't. Have you met my
got-
character?
You've got to go.
I'm about to purge you like a space marine.
And I was like, no, it is my stated goal from the beginning that I will kill people with aberrant dragon marks. Guess what that is?
An aberrant dragon
An
mark.
aberrant dragon mark. And she was like,
Yes, you gotta get your socks on.
she was trying to write on herself the whole fucking time, so we knew she wasn't smart. And then she's like, she says, can we just postpone until this battle's over? And I was like, yes. For the moment, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But once that has ended,
We gonna have to talk.
You'll
you're
be
not my
happy.
friend any longer. And Katya was like, are you gonna kill her? And I said, I will if she doesn't roll well. If she rolls well enough to persuade me to give her a head start, she can be on her way. Like, that's the whole idea behind role-playing game,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's two L's and it's an L-E, like, it's both.
It's not
And
R-O-L-E,
Katya's like,
it's
what?
meant to be.
So at the end of the game, I wound up killing her because this fucking idiot. I was like, I used my dagger and my holy symbol to close this clearly evil book that is summoning a legendary evil from another plane that we just barely killed, who almost regened and killed us. And she's like, yeah. So I'm trying to use this, and my faith roll was just a bit too low with like my 6 bonus. I barely cracked 10, right? And so she's
You
like,
said the word.
so she says, no, I lean over and kick it close with my foot. And
Your heathen foot?
her husband, the GM, says, the one with the mark on it? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, okay. So you close the book with your foot, and it clearly closes. And when it does, your head tips back, which was how we knew that Katya had changed into this legendary evil. And you start growing tentacles. And I was like, I switched direction from trying to stab the book, and I jab it in her stomach, and I rip up and over. She only had 1 hit point at this
Oh
point.
my god.
And so I picked up my die, and I looked at her, and I tossed my D4. And I'm like, I cannot not kill you. No matter what I roll,
I guess
Either way, you're
dead.
right.
The
Her
legendary
foot is
evil didn't
and
choose a
and
good
the thing
host
she's
at that
turning
time.
into is evil and Aberrant. So you're winning both ways.
right? And so she's like burbling and trying to put a curse on me. And I was like, first off, this is not Harry Dresden. And second of all, my sword, my dagger that I have ripped out of her belly, I now slide across her throat. And Armand is like,
Yep.
yep, you don't get to say anything. And she's like, I I was only trying to say something clever, right? Like a snarky line, and I was like,
nope.
When you're missing a functioning diaphragm, you can't force the air out.
yep.
Denied.
So they, at the end of the thing, we were giving away our secrets because we all had a secret card.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I have an aberrant dragon mark. And Alona's like,
Do as I say, not as I do.
what? And I said, yeah. And so I flipped over my paper and I said, it says right here that only through cleansing, and I showed her my main character sheet that said only through ritual cleansing of the aberrant dragon marks will I feel that I have atoned for my dragon mark.
That is
To
awesome.
gain atonement for myself, I'm killing everybody else who has a dragon mark.
That is awesome.
And that
And
makes
she
you
was
a-
just like, what? And so Armand looks at her and he goes, how do you think she was able to pull 30 hit points from Katya without touching her and give it to you?
Because different dragon marks, by the way, guys, give different powers.
Yep.
And in the world, they're codified. They're not genetically given. They just appear on random people. So there's houses for each dragon mark that keep shit in order. Sort of like, they got that caste system that if you have
And
the
they-
Traveler's Mark,
they-
you stay in the Traveler's Mark.
The
You drive
book
boats.
says that if you merge, if you marry a maker with a mender, you can have an aberrant dragon mark.
Hmm.
You have an equal chance of having a maker, a creator,
Mhm.
the two different things. I think I said maker twice.
Uh-huh.
You have a chance
Use
of
maker and mender.
maker and mender. So you can have a maker, you can have a mender, or you can have an aberrant. And 100 years ago, they had a huge battle and killed all the aberrants that they could. They
literally had a
people-
world war because of that. And it was all because one kingdom in the middle said, I'm the boss now, because he had an uber powerful thing, and everybody did the whole, and there's now an apocalypse, Australia in the middle of the continent.
Yeah, that's where we went. That's where the evil was.
The Morning Lands.
The evil was there, so we went and got it. It was so much fun, right? And my shoulders started glowing when I ran, because I had the vampiric dragon mark.
Which is how you can suck the life
I sucked the sucked the life force out of her and gave it to somebody else, and it was so
You're
funny
an energy vampire.
because I
Flashes
said
of what we do in the
I
shadows.
look at Armand and I said, I'm trying to get within 30 feet of her. Can I do my thing? And he goes, yeah. And he looks at me, then he looks at Katya, and I said, okay. So I pulled the energy from her, and I gave it. At first, I gave it to Robert, but then I didn't realize he couldn't have over, and Alona had already been hurt, so I moved it to Alona. And Armand goes, "You're dead." And he starts writing in his book, and Katya's like, "What just happened?" And Robert's like, "Your shoulder glows through your cloth. The glow of your shoulder is apparent."
And nobody noticed.
Yeah, Robert did.
Okay.
Professor Paolo looks at me and goes, "Do you have dragon mark?" And I'm like, and he has enough ADD that he was just like, me.
Shiny squirrel under your shirt.
During the game, nobody guessed. And I thought it was brilliant. It was so much fun. And you guys, I'm so proud of Armand. He did all of the characters, and he took the setting and created his own adventure for us to have. And he picked all the monsters we were going to fight, and he put together all the pieces. I'm trying to convince him to do it every time.
Yeah.
I think that would be so much fun. He's so good. I was really pleased. Alright, so that's my favorite monster and my weird experience of a cleric with notes.
And Aberrant at its best. So Mind Flayer, Beholder.
Yeah, him.
Because remember,
He's so
in the
cute.
D&D universe, everything Aberrant is Cthulhu shit. If it's got too many eyes and too many tentacles, it's Aberrant. It's Cthulhu shit.
Awesome.
How many tentacles is too many?
This guy didn't have any tentacles.
More than one.
More than one.
No, elephants. More than two.
He did not have tentacles at all. He had crab legs. Very different. requisite number of eyeballs, he had extra teeth. But who doesn't? Sharks do. Come on.
And everybody loves a shark.
Right? They just want to give you hugs.
Boom.
Give big mouthy hugs.
Thank you for listening to D&D Journey of the 5th Edition, a member of the Creative Play and Podcast Network. Please follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/CPPN to never miss a show or stream.